You know what's funny about this one? Is that I made a tweet about Pokemon recently and I got mad replies from people saying, you should try Digimon. You should try Digimon. You should give Digimon a shot. Man, y'all don't even know. What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Little Sauce Core, the one who knows best. And in today's video, I got an unboxing for y'all. And you already see the title and the thumbnail, so you know what this is. And I also mentioned it in the intro. But today, I have an unboxing for the collector's edition of Digimon Story Time Stranger. So let's go ahead and get my handy dandy box cutter and let's yap a little bit about it as we unbox it. So this is a bit of a weird one because I got the collector's edition for this game, but this is actually, I got it on Steam. And the reason why I got it on Steam as opposed to PlayStation is because, as far as I'm aware, it's actually only 60 FPS on PC and not going to be 60 FPS on console, at least not at launch. It's only in 30 FPS is what I've been told, is what I was informed of. And even though I'd rather get it on console, I got it on PC for the 60 FPS just because I would rather have the better performance. I didn't realize that you could do this. Like, I didn't realize that some games did this where you would get the game on PC but could still get the collector's edition, because I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I feel like there are other games where I might have done that for, even though I prefer to be a console player. I have a good PC, I can run most games in really high quality and everything like that, but I kind of just prefer console gaming over PC gaming for the most part. I don't really know why that is. I guess it's just because it's what I'm used to, having grown up playing on consoles my whole life and only really having a PC like this in the last few years. Well, I guess it's been like 5 years. Actually, it's almost 6 years since I built this PC. Damn. Anyway, yeah, and Bandai Namco, I ain't gonna lie, y'all was scaring me a little bit because I was waiting and never got my shipping confirmation for this. In fact, my order was saying that it was still awaiting the payment when I know damn well I paid my $200 for this. And that being said, disclaimer, this was not sent to me by Bandai Namco. They did not gift this to me. Now, I will say I did end up getting a free copy of the game digitally as well from Bandai Namco, but I bought the collector's edition with my own money because I'm just that much of a fan of Digimon. And, you know, that being said, going back to what I mentioned earlier about me making a tweet about Pokemon, everyone's saying, you should try Digimon, you should try Digimon, you should try Digimon. I've been a Digimon fan for a very long time. Let me go ahead and take a look. Is there anything important on this packing slip? Doesn't look like it, so let's just toss that to the side. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, one of my absolute favorite video games of all time is, well, let me just grab it. This bad boy right here, Digimon World 3. This is, for me, a top 5, maybe top 3 video game of all time. This is a game I played time and time and time again as a kid. I've even played it as recently as like a year or two ago because it's just, like I said, it's one of my all-time favorites. This is my favorite. Is this my favorite Digimon game? This and Cyber Sleuth are really, really, really good, man, which is why I'm so excited for this game, because this is basically like another Cyber Sleuth game to some extent, right? Not exactly, like it's its own thing, but like it's a game similar to it. But I love Digimon World 3. 1 I didn't love as much. That was the first Digimon game that I owned and played. But yeah, I think this is the best in the series and one of the best games ever made, RPGs ever made, Digimon games ever made. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, however you want to say it, this one up there, cream of the crop. You feel me? But yeah, I've been a Digimon fan my whole life. Now, I will say that I did prefer Pokemon growing up, but I always liked both. You know what I'm saying? As I've gotten older, though, I've realized I think Digimon games are way better than Pokemon games. And you say what you want, man. I just think Digimon games gotta blow Pokemon out of the water. And I think this here is actually where I'm gonna have the code for the game, because again, I bought this on Steam, which this is the only disappointing part because I'm a physical collector. As you guys know, I collect manga, video games, sneakers, stickers, skate decks. I'm a hoarder, okay? Plushies, figures. I like collecting things. I like filling up my office with all the cool things that I loved growing up as a kid and all the things that I've grown to love as an adult. And I really want a physical copy of this game, but now that I already own 2 digital copies and I paid the $200 for this collector's edition, which I do feel slightly, but there's nothing you can do about it, right? But I do feel slightly scammed a little bit because it's like part of the whole thing for me is getting a physical copy of the game, but I'm not going to spend another 60, 70, whatever it costs to get another copy of the game on PlayStation. What I'll do is eventually one day this game is going to go on sale. One day this game will be $20, $30 or something like that, and I'll probably pick it up off Amazon or something, you know what I'm saying, when that day comes, just so I can have it in my collection just because I want it. Yeah, also, I know I'm doing a lot of yapping. I'm sorry. There might be some people out there who just want me to just get to the unboxing. You talking too much. But if you're new around here and that's what you wanted, I'm sorry. If you rock with your boy and don't mind listening to me yap, well, congratulations. And here we have just a plain white box. Okay, nothing too special. I was hoping for much cooler, interesting packing than this. I'm a little disappointed in that, honestly. Like, obviously it's just a box, so like who really cares? But normally when you get a collector's edition, they come in like special boxes and stuff like that. It doesn't look like there's anything else in here, so. And yeah, let's go ahead and getting to open this up. Also, another fun fact about your boy. So like I said, I bought this with my own money, right? But I did end up getting a free copy as well digitally from Bandai Namco. And this is, would you call this a full circle moment? I don't know, it's kind of interesting. The very first free game I ever got from Bandai Namco was actually Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, and that was, what, like 10 years ago now, right? So lore about how that happened, as I said before, and as a lot of you guys know, I collect sneakers. And I had like a phase, a period, a fad, a trend that like I feel like I kind of started where I was like combining video games and sneakers and my photography and everything like that. And I had this picture that went somewhat viral on the internet. I use the word viral very loosely because depending on what type of circles you're in or where you are on social media, you may or may not have ever seen this picture. But I had this picture of me wearing like my Bread Jordan 1s and like a bunch of Tekken games spread out and like me playing it on the PS2, whatever, that, you know, was getting reposted by like a lot of pages on Instagram and stuff like that and getting posted on other blogs. And the brand manager at the time, shout out to homie Mark, not Mark Mann, this was a different Mark, Mark Religioso, shout out to him, saw that photo and then hit me up on Instagram and was like, yo, like this picture's really dope, you know what I'm saying? Like I love video games and sneakers too, blah, blah, blah. I actually work for Bandai Namco. If you ever need anything, let me know. And this is the first time, okay, sick. You do actually get, okay, I was gonna say, oh wait, no, this is the art book. Okay, I thought there was a box inside the box at first. I'm pretty sure this is the art book that it comes with, which is like a 200-page art book. And it is soft cover, glossy finish. Got that new game smell on it, even though it's not the game, it's the it's the book. But yeah, he hit me up and like I had never been contacted or reached out to by anybody from like a brand before, anything like that, and certainly not from Bandai Namco and anybody who wanted to give me anything free. So I didn't even really understand what he meant when he said, I was like if I ever need anything, like what you mean, like a game or something? He was like, yeah, you know, like I work for Bandai Namco, it's like my job's like, you know, work with creators and stuff like that, which I wasn't really a creator or influencer. I mean, like I had a decent Instagram following, but nothing crazy. I had a few thousand followers, but I didn't think that was anything special. This is nice. This is really nice. And yeah, so you know, we exchanged messages a couple times back and forth. You know, I you know, tell him thank you for the love and everything like that. This is sick. Yo, hang this in the Louvre, bro. What you mean? What you mean? I would get this framed and put it in the office, or better yet, I'd get this painted on the ceiling. This is sick. Oh my goodness. And then key art of the main character and everything like that. This is really cool, concept art and stuff. We're not gonna go through every page of this, but I figured I'd show you guys a little bit while I'm sitting here yapping. And you know, a couple of days go by and I find out about Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. And so I reluctantly, because like I don't, you know what I'm saying, at this time, again, I'm not comfortable or familiar with doing this type of thing. I was like, hey, there's this Digimon game I'd like to try that's from Bandai Namco. And so I asked him for a copy of it. He sent me like the digital deluxe version of the game, all the DLC, mailed me a physical copy of it, whatever. And yeah, it was, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that was years before I was doing YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't even have a YouTube channel then. So that was just crazy how that worked out. And then I eventually became a YouTuber, and I wasn't even doing gaming content at first. And then I started doing gaming content, and you know, now I actually have like somewhat of a business relationship with Bandai Namco. But it's just funny how that all worked out. Oh, yo, you know what's crazy about this? In this art, they've got the Digimon. I assume that you're gonna actually be able to wear this in game. They've got the main character rocking Tekken 8 t-shirts. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get the focus that well. And see if I can get my lens to agree with me there. Yeah, you can kind of see he's got on two different Tekken 8 t-shirts. One with like the box art of Jin and Kazuya with the Tekken 8 logo on the back, and the other one has Lily, which I forget which game it is, but one of the Digimon games actually has Lily in it for some reason. It's like a really weird crossover game. I haven't played that one. I said I'm a Digimon fan. Obviously, Digimon World 3 is one of my favorite games of all time, as is Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory, which I haven't mentioned just yet. But it's like I've played a ton of the games. I've played a lot more Pokemon games than I played Digimon games, because again, Pokemon is just more accessible, it's more popular, it's more mainstream, even though Digimon is wildly successful and popular as well and has its own very hardcore, passionate fan base. I've just been more exposed to it and more invested in Pokemon in my lifetime. But like I said, as I've gotten older, I've realized I like the Digimon games a lot more than the Pokemon games. And the reason why I opened up this video the way that I did is because we can continue to get through this box, by the way, because I know y'all want to see that figure. I want to see that figure. Is because I recently played through Pokemon Legends Arceus for the first time. I bought that game when it came out and never played it, but since Legends ZA is about to release here in about 2 weeks, I was like, you know, it's time that I finally go ahead and play through that game so that I've, you know, already played it before ZA comes out. And I've beaten it now. I started it a few days ago. It's not a super long game. It took me about 22 hours to finish. And here we have some collector's edition cards. Do I want to crack these open? I think I do. So let's go ahead and do that. And I didn't really care for it that much, you know what I'm saying? And I made a tweet while I was into the game, and I had a lot of people like, yo, you should try Digimon. You should give Digimon a shot. Blah. I'm like, yeah, boy, y'all don't even know. I've been here. I've been doing this. I've been waiting on this for a minute. Okay, this is one of my most anticipated games of the year, if not my most anticipated game of the year. I can't think off the top of my head of a game that I've been more excited about or looking forward to than this. That being said, if you're asking whether or not I'll be creating any content on this game in terms of YouTube videos, doing a playthrough, streaming it, the answer is probably not. I'm horrible, and I mean horrible, at committing the playthroughs and doing them both on YouTube and on stream. And so I'm just not even going to pretend like I'm going to do that. You might get a random stream here or there, me doing it just because I feel like it. But this is a game that's mostly going to be for me, mostly going to be played off camera, and I'm just going to enjoy it for myself because I do think that is important as a creator, just have those things for yourself. But here we have a card of Aegiomon, Coronamon, Lunamon, and Grace Novamon. So let me go ahead and give you a look at these. But yeah, I wasn't really feeling Arceus that much. And in fact, I enjoyed it so little that I think I'm actually going to end up skipping out on Legends ZA, because what I've realized is that Pokemon for me is a series that I just want it to be Pokemon. I don't want it to try to be anything else or anything more than what it is. Don't get me wrong. There are ways that I feel like Pokemon can improve and upgrade and like innovate in their own way that isn't them kind of being a watered down version of other games, or like doing things that are super outside the norm. And the thing is, as well, as like Legends Arceus, like, and Legends EA, like those games are technically spin-offs, right? Like I don't think we consider those mainline games, or if we do, they're very different. And everything doesn't have to be for me. I prefer, is what I've learned, the traditional Pokemon Formioli, you know what I'm saying? I'm not really looking to venture onto two. I mean, and don't get me wrong, there's other spin-offs that I played and I enjoyed, right? Like XD Gale of Darkness and Colosseum are two of my favorite Pokemon games of all time. I think two of the best ones, and those are spin-offs, and those are good, and they're not exactly, you know, a traditional Pokemon game, but I think they're really good. Arceus I didn't really care for that much, and ZA I think does things very differently from Arceus, and was like, oh, but like ZA is going to be so different, like you should still give it a shot. And I'm like, that's the problem though that I've realized, is that the biggest thing for me when it comes to, and I might make a whole video yapping about this whole Pokemon stuff, we're doing a lot of talking about Pokemon in the Digimon video, and here we have the figure, you know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and give you a look at that before I get out of Jupitermon. The biggest draw for me with Pokemon is the gameplay loop. I like the traditional combat system and the turn-based RPG aspect of Pokemon. And ZA is doing something completely different, where it's like more real-time combat, and I don't want that. That's not what I want out of Pokemon. So I think I'm gonna skip that game, or at the very least pass on it for now. It's not gonna be a game that I'm pre-ordering or picking up at launch. I actually don't know what's in here. We got this little envelope. There's what? What? I don't know if there's supposed to be anything in here. I have to double check everything the collector's edition is meant to come with, but that's a bit odd. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. That's my episode of Pokemon. Like I said, if you guys are curious to hear me talk about everything that I did like and didn't like about Arceus and why I may or may not be picking up ZA, anything like that, let me know. I wouldn't mind yapping about that if people care at all about it, but I digress. Regardless though, this game is something that I've been looking forward to very much. There's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to love this game to death. I'm trying to not cut the actual box here and just cut through the tape, but it's taped very well. There we go. And we got a couple other pieces over here. Yeah, there's zero doubt in my mind that I'm going to absolutely love this game. I've been, like I said, I've been waiting on this. I've been waiting on this one all year, man. All right, we got all the tape. Let's go ahead and get this bad boy out of here. And this is obviously the biggest draw to the collector's edition, is this figure right here. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit smaller than I was expecting. I know the size was probably listed on the website, like when you pre-order it and everything like that. I pre-ordered this months and months ago. Like as soon as pre-orders went up, I went ahead and got it. Actually though, that's not true. When they first went up, I didn't get it. I caught it on a restock because this has sold out multiple times. And I think it's even reselling for a lot of money on eBay, which is probably not worth it now that I'm unpacking it and everything and seeing what it comes with. Like I said, it would feel a little bit better if I actually had a physical copy of the game in here, but I don't because I got it on PC. Hopefully one day they do put out a patch or something that actually, you know, upgrades the console versions of the game to 60 FPS. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get all this plastic opened up and let's take a good look at it. All right, now some assembly was required and it was a bit tricky because I've got fairly large hands. And yeah, it's a little bit smaller than I was expecting, but I still like it quite a lot. I think it's pretty dope. But this is Jupitermon, and to be specific, this is Wrath Mode Jupitermon. But yeah, here we go. Let me see if I can go ahead and get a nice little focus on that. Yeah, boy, that thing kind of sick like that. You feel me? Yeah. Now, I don't know the lore of Jupitermon, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not familiar with the Digimon. And that's one of the dope things about this game is that there are hundreds, and I mean hundreds of different Digimon to choose from and to collect and, you know, battle with and everything like that in this game. You know, Cyber Sleuth had a lot that I learned about for the first time playing that game, and I had a blast. Hacker's Memory adds even more, and then Time Changer adds even more than that. Matter of fact, like, let me get the numbers real quick on this. Yeah, so the original Cyber Sleuth had 249 Digimon. Then Hacker's Memory had 341, and now Time Changer has over 450, which I know you'd be like, oh, well, Pokemon's got over Relax, I ain't gonna lie. In terms of like number of hits versus misses, Digimon probably got a better ratio for me personally. Now there are some bad Digimon as well, some goofy looking ones, some lame looking ones out there. You know what I'm saying? When you got hundreds, there's gonna be a lot of bad designs as well as good ones. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a big fan of like a lot of like modern Pokemon designs. I feel like they have mostly misses and not a lot of hits in some of the latest generations of Pokemon for like the last several years. But that's just me, to each their own. But anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it. That is everything you can get with the collector's edition of it. Like I said, I really wish that I had a physical copy of the game, but I'll probably pick it up somewhere down the line. It could be a year from now, 2 years from now, who knows. But yeah, man, do I think it was worth the money? I'm sure that's a question some of you guys would like to know. It would feel a lot more if you actually did get it on console. To me, maybe that's what this is originally for. Was this about the, no, this is too small to have had like the game in it. If in terms of like, well, let me see. Yeah, no, that's too small to have had a PS5 game in it. I still don't understand what this was for. But yeah, I would say for me, you know, as a creator and, you know, using it as a business expense and then making a YouTube video out of it, and as a Digimon fan, whatever. Yeah, like it's alright. I wouldn't recommend most people get the collector's edition if you even can find it in stock right now. But you know, I guess another thing to consider is the fact that it obviously comes with all the extra like DLC and goodies that you get. You know, there's a pre-order bonus and then the digital ultimate content where you get like Agumon and Gabumon and the black Agumon and Gabumon, and then all the costumes and the DLC passes. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, it's just more to it. It's in terms of like the value you get out of the actual box itself of the collector's edition. It's, yeah, you know, it's I will say, I feel like some collector's editions for games these days have kind of been slacking, man. I think the best one I've gotten recently, like in the last couple years, is honestly the one for Tekken 8. Tekken 8 came with some really nice goodies, and then also the Jin figures of way higher quality and bigger size than, hold on, I got this Tekken 3 keychain hanging from his arm right now. The Jin figure that came with the Tekken 8 collector's edition is easily, and I mean easily, the best figure that I've gotten in any collector's edition, and honestly one of the best figures in my entire collection. I keep it right here on my desk next to my PS5. This is sick, like super sick, and it even comes with like a little cable. You can plug this into like a USB, you know, brick, or even your PS5 or whatever, and it lights up and stuff if you really wanted to. Like the wing and the base, I think, starts glowing and stuff. You know, this is sick. I'll keep it a stack. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Jupitermon is really messing with this Jin figure. But this is still really, really dope as well. This is gonna find a nice spot on my shelf back there. But I think that's gonna do it for this video. I probably had a couple other things that I wanted to yap about that I forgot to mention. Oh, by the way, my favorite Digimon is Vmon, because I'm sure someone's gonna ask that if I don't say it. If you made it this far in the video, then you know. I'm saying, if somebody leaves a comment asking what my favorite Digimon is in this video, everyone point and laugh. Haha, you didn't watch to the end of the video. Yeah, Vmon is my favorite Digimon. Anyway, I'm very excited to play this game. I'm probably gonna boot it up today, to be honest. And yeah, man, y'all let me know what you think. Are you feeling Digimon? Are you a Digimon fan? Do you like it more or less than Pokemon? Did you get the collector's edition? Have you played the game yet? Are you looking forward to playing the game? What are your thoughts, feelings, comments, questions, concerns? Leave them in the comment section down below. Hit this video with a like if you enjoy it, subscribe if you haven't already, so you can stay tuned for all awesome content I'm bringing you. With all that being said, that's pretty much all I have today. And remember, let the good happen to you, swing the bat. Later.